Mawaira e tauri mate Marai wa honei Mate tikama te pono
Ready? Yep. Let's go. The big smiles.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Welcome to another session of FURM Academy. And with me today is Michael Moka from Indigenous Growth Limited. I'm very excited about this chat actually, and very privileged because I've been welcomed here in the Waipapa Marae in Auckland CBD. And thank you, Michael, for the warm welcome earlier. And Michael's got a very interesting journey and a very interesting story. A company he founded in 2013. Caught up with the brother at TEDx Auckland a few weeks ago, and got to listen to an inspiring talk at that time. And I'm very lucky to have him here to be able to chat and learn more about Indigenous Growth Limited and the vision and the story behind his passion. So, Michael, welcome to Founder Chats.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah. I started getting into that circle of success and just really started being that one in the family that got out. And what happened was my whānau was here, my family was there, and I just kept going there. I passed high school, went to uni, started getting a job, worked with these CEOs, and I just kept going to a point that they could almost not see me. And there were positives and negatives with that. Yet I always thought, if my family not achieving, then there's actually no point for me achieving this. So when I was learning these tools, these mindset tools, these things of being authentic, I was thinking you should always serve your own first, even though they're the hardest. And I did. I started 4 years before I started Indigenous Growth. I just started a pilot program with my family and charged them $40 because that filters heaps of people out, and we got 8. And the amazing part of that of my family that got in there was the 4 who didn't have jobs. After 6 months, they all had jobs. So that was something tangible, and I started being really excited. I was like, "Whoa, this stuff works!" While I'm playing around with it. And then we had a couple of amazing stories. But going back to my sister, the one with all the talent in the world, she was a courier for 10 plus years, and she was like a tirairaka, a fantail that just kept going from different courier drivers, all of that type of stuff. Well, in 18 months of us working together, she had the mindset to the point that I think she got promoted about 3 times. It was to the point after about 3 years that she became the manager of all the courier drivers and the trucks in Auckland. It was to the point that she went to her superiors and said, "If you don't give me the tools to be able to serve my team to the best of their ability," and made demands about, serving them properly, then I'm gonna leave, because I have confidence in myself that I can go to another organization. I have strengths, which is an amazing change for people who are stuck in that cycle that think, my dream is merely just to put food on the table and roof over my head, my family's head. She didn't have to worry about that anymore. What happens when you don't worry about that limitation? You have no limitations, eh? And this is what started to happen. Now she's in an organization who treats her properly. She works 4 days a week now, and she also starting her own business management course and all that. That's something that I can never measure, because that's not all me. We just flip the switch of Indigenous growth, and then whatever they want to achieve, man, the world doesn't change. It's just how they look at the world. And just so you know what actually happened, the day that she left, the day that she was going to leave, they gave her a promotion and they gave everything that she wanted for her team, which the team worked harder, became one of the hardest working, most productive teams in their organisation. So why, even with no customers, even with nothing but a gut feeling, and this has never been done anywhere, we went to Canada and Australia to look, nothing of this magnitude has been done before, right? I still took the leap, left a job with no customers just to work on it. And it was hard. First 2 years, wanted to really quit every single day almost. Yet we knew that we'd be missing out on blessings, and now the fire is starting to grow. There's some type of severing that's happened within our people, that we're no longer connected to our marae, to our people in terms of my family, and it's something that I yearn for. It's something that I really want, and it's something that if I just tell my pepeha or tell people who I am, they probably know more about me than most. So just for our Māori whānau out there, I moka tōku whānau, praone kauti tōku whānau, Hoani, Paparoa, Aperahama, so I've got heaps of whānau there. So mihi atu kia koutou. And through that, through being a third generation urban migration, we're calling it now, my whole upbringing has allowed me to have this vision of Indigenous growth. And the vision there is to conquer the poverty cycle. So not poverty itself, but poverty cycle. We see people in Africa that seem to be richer than a lot of our people here. So it's not just money in the pocket, and food in the mouths. It's actually to be trapped in a cycle that we don't want to be in. And for me, I come from a family who are trapped in that cycle, and I was the youngest, and I saw everything that I didn't want to be. And at 12, I actually developed the vision for Indigenous growth.
So a lot of what you're doing is going into your local community, going into your whānau, educating them, mentoring them, coaching them, guiding them into access to this information, to these tools, to professional development, to work and culture, and nourishing and molding them together to be able to be more comfortable to access what is already out there, essentially. So I want to talk to you a lot more about the challenges over the last couple of years, because what you've set up is, I can see it's quite a unique program, and it's something that you're working with two different cross cultures. You're working with perhaps the corporate culture or the education sector, and then you're working with your local whānau or your local community, which is another culture in itself. So some of the challenges around working with those cross cultures, I'd love to hear more about that.
Well, we want to walk on that fine line, and it's all about enhancing the mana of both. So the power and authority, one shouldn't achieve at the expense of another, right? So the people in that top end, we should be solving a problem of theirs, which is that they won't have to do that much, right? A lot of the weight is on their shoulders because they're the productive, efficient ones, right? And we can use the potential of the people here by identifying who they are and their culture and how to use that every day. So we're not actually teaching them anything new, we're just bringing out their innate intrinsic strengths, right? And bringing that together to create something that builds the whole whānau. Right, like everything. So that's the line that we want to walk. We don't talk corporate and we don't talk whānau almost. We're creating our own language here that's about including people who in the current system are excluded.
So it's about cohesion and inclusiveness and creating unity across both boards. So I think it's fantastic, and clearly no easy feat to get through. What's the journey ahead, mate? In terms of where are you looking to go or grow? Over the next sort of couple of years with this.
So we're on almost the final module, the graduation of our first big client, which is our whakatupu program with Fletcher Building, who were amazing enough to say, hey, we want to be the first.
That's fantastic.
Because they would go, we know that, and this was a conversation purely with their leadership manager, and she said, it's about time that we come in, us working with you will allow us to help not just Fletchers, but a lot more people, you know, and getting their testimonial and going through that. Our goal for the next 2 years is to establish ourselves as servant leaders in this area, right? To establish ourselves as the experts amongst this cultural diversity area, which, like I said before, it's not about excluding people. We've got Indigenous, that's what we say. It's more about bringing a holistic point of view, conquering that poverty cycle, and including people who once were excluded.
So it's not necessarily just specifically for the Maori people or the Polynesians, looking at holistic kind of poverty. It could be other minority or cultural groups.
Well, we know the statistics, right?
Right.
The negative statistics all around the world, the high crime rates, the pregnancy rates, the school dropouts, the low socioeconomic demographic. We know it. I don't need to say any numbers and figures. The reality is, when you go to those countries all around the world, who are the people that fill those statistics? Māori and Pacific here in New Zealand. Aboriginals in Australia, the First Nations in America, Canada, the African Americans, right? It's actually the Indigenous people who belong to that land. Like we have our people that are succeeding better on foreign soil in Australia. Like the Māori people do better in Australia than here. And the Aboriginals do better on foreign soil, because so there's that culture that we really want to serve for anybody who wants to get out. So just to challenge those statistics. Throughout our programs, it's a foundation of Indigenous values. So that's what we do. The core of it is a foundation of Indigenous values. And then we show them how they can use it every day to enhance their business, to make decisions, to play their roles, to go through that. I use Māori words because I'm Māori.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And it would be, it wouldn't be authentic if I used a First Nation language just because they should be strong enough in their own language to realise where the universal principles fit.
Sure.
Right? And that's what it is. And that's going to be the amazing part. It wouldn't be authentic if we did in there, but it is very inclusive. That's what we want to go.
Advice for people listening out there in terms of, picking a passion and picking something that you believe in and staying authentic and then trying to achieve that dream or achieve that desire, achieve that goal whilst overcoming all the barriers and the boundaries and the challenges that come your way. I think, there's a very strong message to be shared with others based on, the fact that you've gone and done it.
My message is, it's their calling. Right? There's other things that selfishly, if it was just about me, I would have preferred to do. Right? There's things that if it was just about me, but knowing that you've got a calling, knowing that you represent your family, your collective, right? Your groups, everybody that you've got a relationship, you represent that. And there's a thing in there that almost hurts you in the gut that you just know. Right? Everybody goes, I know I have to do that, but I don't. I've got to do a job. I've got to do it. And there is that where I'd say just trust in that. Trust in that gut. Have that vision. Because for me, that's all I have. I've got the vision, and I've got a vision that I believe that can help conquer the poverty cycle for people that go out. And that's me 100% of the time. Right? So that's my strength. I have to surround myself amongst amazing people like yourself to be able for them to play the role with all my weaknesses. But I don't try to pretend that I can do the strategy, I can do the marketing, the finance, the da-da-da-da-da. I use my strengths and I make sure that those strengths can help people that, so I'm doing that 100% of the time.
It's fascinating, Michael, when you go on that journey, when you take that leap, you find that people just come. They just, you just attract the energy that we need. I mean, the journey it's kind of like, you know, you're climbing a mountain, but then you start with nothing. And then all of a sudden, as you're climbing this mountain, you get a backpack put on you, and then you got a hiking stick, and then, you know, all these sort of tools start coming as you're climbing higher and higher up the mountain. What's the sort of next steps coming ahead for you, and how can people reach out to you? People who want to sort of maybe tap you on the shoulder, have a chat, maybe be a part of this, you know, where can they go?
So there's two things. One is the expansion of Indigenous growth. We want, wherever our people are, that's where we want to serve, right? And we need to get in with organisations who have a lot of our people on the front line, who want to embrace cultural diversity. They go, hey, we've got a lot of our Indigenous people on the front line. Why are they not showing up in our management system? And we want to be able to go in those organisations and say, hey, nobody wants a handout, yet this is how we can develop them so they can achieve at their level, right? So we want to be able to go into organisations, and then after that, the big dream, the end goal for me is to be able to step away. Right? I want to be able to create something, or we want to be able to create something where we can empower people to serve their people. For example, the Māori people, would be amazing if we go into a iwi, a tribe, and we work with them, and then we develop their people to do this work. I says, hey, we're not here to just go, oh, we need a 20-year contract and 50 grand a year and all of that stuff. We're coming in here, there's always going to be people to serve, right? So we want to go in here, work with their people, train them so they can serve their own iwi.
You're almost, you know, it's almost like establishing an ecosystem in itself, which can self-sustain and grow and nourish on its own.